I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you're standing in front of a giant hourglass filled with golden grains of sand. Each grain represents a moment of your life, slowly but steadily trickling down from the top to the bottom. Can you see it? Can you feel the weight of time passing? Here's the kicker, folks. Once those grains fall, there's no way to flip that hourglass over. There's no rewind button on the remote control of life. You can't go back and relive yesterday, last week, or last year. It's gone, forever etched in the annals of time. But don't let that thought paralyze you with fear. No, let it ignite a fire within you. Let it be the catalyst that propels you forward into action, into living a life of purpose and meaning. You see, we're all given this precious gift called time. It's the great equalizer. Whether you're rich or poor, young or old, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, 365 days in a year. The question is, what are you doing with your time? Are you investing it wisely like a savvy businessman investing in a blue chip stock? Or are you squandering it away like a gambler frittering away his savings at the casino? I'm here to tell you that it's time to wake up. It's time to realize that every moment counts. Every decision matters, and every action you take or don't take is shaping your future. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Jim, that's all well and good, but I've already wasted so much time. I've squandered years of my life. Is it too late for me? And to that, I say absolutely not. It's never too late to start living the life you want. As long as you have breath in your lungs and a beating heart in your chest, you have the opportunity to make a change. Remember, folks, success is not a destination. It's not some far-off place you reach and then kick back and relax. No, success is a journey. It's a continuous process of growth, learning, and becoming. So if you've wasted time in the past, don't waste any more time beating yourself up about it. The past is gone, but the future is still in your hands. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Let me share a little story with you. I once knew a man named Tom. Tom was in his late 40s when I met him. He had a decent job, a nice family, but there was always this look of regret in his eyes. One day over a cup of coffee, he confided in me. Jim, he said, I've always wanted to start my own business. I had this great idea 20 years ago, but I never had the courage to pursue it. Now I feel like it's too late. I've wasted so much time. I looked Tom straight in the eye and said, Tom, the only way it's too late is if you decide it's too late. You're still breathing, aren't you? You still have dreams, don't you? Then it's not too late. Long story short, Tom took that advice to heart. He started working on his business idea in his spare time. It wasn't easy, and there were plenty of setbacks along the way, but 2 years later, he quit his job to run his own successful company. He told me it was the best decision he ever made, and his only regret was not doing it sooner. The moral of the story? It's never too late to start, but it's always too late to wait. Now, let's talk about why we waste time. Because let's face it, we've all been guilty of it at some point. We waste time because it's easy. It's comfortable. It doesn't require us to stretch or grow or face our fears. We waste time scrolling through social media, binge watching TV shows, procrastinating on important tasks. And while there's nothing wrong with a little relaxation or entertainment, the problem comes when these activities start eating up large chunks of our lives. You see, time-wasting activities are like junk food for the soul. They might taste good in the moment, but they leave you feeling empty and unsatisfied in the long run. They don't nourish you or help you grow. They don't bring you closer to your goals or help you become the person you want to be. So I challenge you today to take a hard look at how you're spending your time. Are you investing it in activities that will pay dividends in the future? Or are you frittering it away on things that won't matter a year from now, let alone a decade from now? Remember, every minute you spend is a minute you'll never get back. So spend it wisely. Spend it on things that matter. Spend it on becoming the best version of yourself. Now I can see some of you squirming in your seats. You're thinking, Jim, this all sounds great, but how do I actually do this? How do I stop wasting time and start making the most of my life? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's exactly what we're going to dive into next. We're going to talk about practical strategies for making the most of your time, for living a life of purpose and meaning, for ensuring that when you look back on your life, you'll do so with pride and satisfaction, not regret and remorse. But before we do that, I want you to do something for me. I want you to make a promise to yourself. Promise that from this moment forward, you're going to treat your time like the precious, non-renewable resource that it is. Promise that you're going to stop making excuses and start taking action. Promise that you're going to live each day with intention and purpose. Can you make that promise? Good. Because that promise, my friends, is the first step towards transforming your life. It's the first step towards ensuring that you don't waste another year of your life. Now let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. Because the clock is ticking and there's no time to waste. The first step in making the most of your time is to get crystal clear on what you want out of life. You see, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. But that's not good enough for us. We want to live with purpose, with direction. So I want you to ask yourself, what do I really want? What are my goals, my dreams, my aspirations? What kind of person do I want to become? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? These aren't easy questions to answer. They require deep reflection and honest self-assessment. But they're crucial, because once you know what you want, you can start aligning your actions with your goals. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to become a successful entrepreneur. That's great. But it's not enough to just want it. You need to break that big goal down into smaller, actionable steps. Maybe your first step is to educate yourself about business. So you commit to reading one business book a week. Your next step might be to start networking with other entrepreneurs. So you join a local business group or attend industry conferences. The point is, once you know what you want, you can start taking concrete steps towards achieving it. And suddenly, those hours you used to waste watching TV or scrolling through social media, they become opportunities to work towards your goals. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But Jim, I don't have time for all that. I'm already so busy with work and family responsibilities. And to that I say we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's not about having time, it's about making time for what's important. Think about it this way. If I told you that by sacrificing 1 hour of sleep each night for the next year, you could achieve your biggest life goal, would you do it? I bet most of you would say yes in a heartbeat. Well, guess what? That's exactly what I'm telling you. By being intentional with your time, by cutting out time-wasting activities and focusing on what truly matters, you can achieve things you never thought possible. But here's the catch, it's not going to be easy. It's going to require discipline, commitment, and perseverance. It's going to require you to step out of your comfort zone and do things that might scare you. But let me ask you this, what's scarier? Taking a risk and possibly failing, or reaching the end of your life and realizing you never even tried? I'll tell you what's scarier to me. It's the thought of looking back on my life with regret, wishing I had done more, been more, achieved more. That's what keeps me up at night, and that's what should motivate you to make the most of every single day. Now, let's talk about another crucial aspect of not wasting your life: continuous learning and personal growth. You see, in today's rapidly changing world, if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not constantly upgrading your skills and knowledge, you're falling behind. But here's the beautiful thing: learning doesn't have to be a chore. It can be one of the most exciting and fulfilling aspects of life. When you're constantly learning, you're constantly expanding your horizons, discovering new possibilities, and becoming a better version of yourself. So how do you incorporate learning into your daily life? Well, it starts with cultivating a growth mindset. Instead of thinking, I can't do that, or I'm not good at that, start thinking, I can learn to do that, or I can improve at that. Then make learning a habit. Read books, listen to podcasts, take online courses, seek out mentors and learn from their experiences. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to think differently and grow. And remember, learning isn't just about acquiring knowledge. It's about applying that knowledge to your life. It's about taking action based on what you've learned. I once met a woman named Sarah who was stuck in a dead-end job. She was unhappy, unfulfilled, but felt like she had no other options. Then she started reading books on personal development and career change. She took online courses to learn new skills. And within a year, she had switched careers and was doing work she loved. The difference? She didn't just passively consume information. She actively applied what she learned to her life. And that made all the difference. Now, let's talk about another crucial aspect of not wasting your life relationships. You see, at the end of the day, it's not about how much money you made or how many accolades you received. It's about the lives you touched, the relationships you nurtured, the love you gave and received. So I challenge you to invest time in your relationships. Strengthen your bonds with family and friends, build new connections, be there for others in their time of need. Because when you look back on your life, it's these relationships that will bring you the most joy and satisfaction. But here's the thing, building and maintaining relationships takes time and effort. It requires you to be present, to listen, to show up when it matters. And in our busy, distracted world, that's not always easy. So make a conscious effort to prioritize your relationships. Schedule regular time for family dinners. Call your friends just to catch up. Attend your children's school events. Be there for your partner in both good times and bad. And remember, it's not just about the quantity of time you spend with others, it's about the quality. When you're with someone, be fully present. Put away your phone. Listen actively. Show genuine interest in their lives. Because here's the truth, no one on their deathbed ever said, I wish I had spent more time at the office, but plenty of people have regretted not spending enough time with their loved ones. Now let's talk about health, because let me tell you, all the success in the world doesn't mean a thing if you don't have your health to enjoy it. I've seen too many people sacrifice their health in pursuit of wealth or success only to end up with neither. They work 80-hour weeks, neglect their diet and exercise, and then wonder why they're burnt out and miserable. Don't fall into that trap. Your health is your most valuable asset. Without it, you can't enjoy life, you can't pursue your goals, you can't be there for your loved ones. So make your health a priority. Exercise regularly. Eat a balanced diet. Get enough sleep. Manage your stress. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities. And here's the beautiful thing, when you prioritize your health, everything else in your life improves. You have more energy, you're more productive, you're in a better mood. You're better equipped to handle life's challenges and pursue your goals. Remember, you only get one body in this life. Treat it well, and it will serve you well for years to come. Now let's talk about something that many people struggle with: fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These fears can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in our comfort zones, wasting precious years of our lives. But here's the truth, fear is a natural part of life. Everyone experiences it. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people isn't the absence of fear. It's how they respond to fear. Successful people feel the fear and do it anyway. They understand that on the other side of fear is growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. So I challenge you to embrace your fears. See them not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. When you feel afraid to do something, that's often a sign that you should do it. Because that's where the magic happens. That's where you discover what you're truly capable of. I remember when I first started speaking publicly, I was terrified. My hands would shake, my voice would quiver. But I knew that if I wanted to make a difference in people's lives, I had to push through that fear. And you know what? The more I did it, the easier it became. The fear never completely went away, but it no longer controlled me. And the rewards, the ability to impact lives, to share my message with the world, far outweighed any temporary discomfort. So what are you afraid of? What's holding you back from living the life you truly want? Identify those fears, face them head on, and watch as your life transforms. Now let's talk about something that's absolutely crucial if you want to make the most of your time setting goals. You see, goals give you direction. They give you something to strive for. They turn the intangible concept of success into concrete, actionable steps. But here's the thing, not all goals are created equal. To truly transform your life, you need to set SMART goals. That's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Let me break that down for you. Specific, instead of saying I want to get in shape, say I want to lose 20 pounds. Measurable, you need to be able to track your progress. In this case, you can measure your weight loss. Achievable, your goals should stretch you, but still be possible. Losing 20 pounds in a week isn't realistic, but losing it over several months is. Relevant, your goal should align with your broader life objectives. If your ultimate aim is better health, weight loss could be relevant. Time-bound, set a deadline. I want to lose 20 pounds in 4 months. When you set smart goals, you're not just dreaming, you're creating a roadmap for success. You're turning your aspirations into a plan of action. And here's another crucial point about goals: write them down. There's something powerful about putting your goals on paper. It makes them more real, more tangible. It's like making a contract with yourself. But setting goals is just the first step. The real work comes in pursuing those goals day in and day out. It's about taking consistent action, even when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing through obstacles and setbacks. Because let me tell you, there will be setbacks. There will be days when you want to give up. But that's when you need to remind yourself why you started in the first place. That's when you need to dig deep and find the motivation to keep going. And speaking of motivation, let's talk about that for a moment. Because motivation is like a fire, it needs to be constantly fueled and maintained. One of the best ways to stay motivated is to regularly visualize your success. Close your eyes and imagine how you'll feel when you achieve your goal. Imagine the sense of pride, the boost in confidence, the positive impact on your life. Another powerful motivator is to track your progress. Celebrate your small wins along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your goal. And don't forget to surround yourself with positive, supportive people. The people around you have a huge impact on your mindset and motivation. Seek out those who believe in you, who encourage you to reach for your dreams. Now let's talk about something that's absolutely crucial if you want to make the most of your time developing good habits. You see, our lives are essentially the sum of our habits. The small actions we repeat day after day shape our character, our health, our relationships, and our success. The power of habits lies in their ability to put our self-improvement on autopilot. Once a habit is firmly established, it requires little conscious effort. It becomes as natural as brushing your teeth or tying your shoelaces. But here's the catch: habits can work for you or against you. Bad habits can slowly erode your health, your relationships, your productivity. Good habits, on the other hand, can propel you towards your goals, improve your well-being, and enhance your overall quality of life. So how do you develop good habits? Well, it starts with understanding the habit loop. Every habit consists of 3 parts: the cue, what triggers the habit; the routine, the habit itself; and the reward, the benefit you get from the habit. To create a new habit, you need to clearly define these 3 elements. Let's say you want to develop a habit of reading every day. Your cue might be finishing dinner. The routine would be reading for 30 minutes. And the reward could be the sense of accomplishment and relaxation you feel afterwards. Now, here's a key point: start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's a recipe for failure. Instead, focus on one habit at a time. Make it so easy you can't say no. If 30 minutes of reading seems daunting, start with 5 minutes. The key is consistency. And remember, it takes time for a new behavior to become automatic. Some studies suggest it can take anywhere from 18 to 254 days for a new habit to form, with an average of 66 days. So be patient with yourself. Keep at it, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. One powerful strategy for building habits is what I call habit stacking. This involves linking a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you already have a habit of making coffee every morning, you could use that as a cue to do 10 push-ups while the coffee's brewing. Another crucial aspect of habit formation is your environment. Make it easy to do the right things and hard to do the wrong things. If you want to eat healthier, stock your fridge with nutritious foods and get rid of the junk. If you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Now, let's talk about breaking bad habits, because let's face it, we all have them. The key to breaking a bad habit is to identify the cue that triggers it and then change the routine while keeping the same reward. For instance, if you have a habit of snacking when you're stressed, the cue is stress, the routine is eating, and the reward is comfort. To break this habit, you need to find a new routine that provides the same reward. Maybe instead of eating when you're stressed, you could take a short walk or do some deep breathing exercises. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. You might slip up occasionally, and that's okay. The important thing is to get back on track as quickly as possible. Don't let one mistake derail your entire effort. Now, let's shift gears and talk about something that's absolutely crucial if you want to make the most of your time: the power of focus. In today's world of constant distractions and information overload, the ability to focus is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. You see, multitasking is a myth. Our brains aren't wired to focus on multiple things at once. What we call multitasking is actually task switching, and it's incredibly inefficient. Every time you switch tasks, there's a cognitive cost. You lose time and mental energy in the transition. Instead, practice what I call deep work. This is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's in these periods of deep focus that we produce our best work, come up with our most creative ideas, and make the most progress towards our goals. So how do you cultivate this ability to focus? Well, it starts with eliminating distractions. Turn off notifications on your phone. Find a quiet place to work. Use website blockers if necessary to keep you off social media or other time-wasting sites. Then use techniques like the Pomodoro technique to structure your work. Work in focused bursts of 25 minutes, followed by short 5-minute breaks. This helps maintain high levels of concentration while avoiding burnout. Another powerful technique is what I call single tasking. Instead of trying to juggle multiple tasks at once, give your full attention to one task at a time. You'll find that you not only complete tasks faster this way, but the quality of your work improves as well. And remember, focus is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Start with short periods of focused work and gradually increase the duration as your concentration improves. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked but is absolutely crucial for making the most of your time: the power of rest and recovery. You see, in our hustle culture, we often glorify busyness and nonstop work. But the truth is, periods of rest are just as important as periods of intense focus and productivity. Think about it like this: if you're constantly sprinting, you'll quickly burn out. But if you alternate between sprints and recovery, you can cover much more ground in the long run. The same principle applies to your work and your life. You need periods of intense focus and productivity, but you also need periods of rest and recovery. It's during these rest periods that your brain consolidates information, that your body repairs itself, that you recharge your mental and emotional batteries. So don't feel guilty about taking breaks. Don't feel bad about getting a full night's sleep. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities if you want to perform at your best and avoid burnout. In fact, I encourage you to schedule your rest and recovery time just like you schedule your work time. Make time for activities that rejuvenate you, whether that's reading a book, taking a walk in nature, practicing meditation, or spending time with loved ones. And speaking of rejuvenation, let's talk about the importance of passion and purpose. You see, when you're passionate about what you do, when you have a clear sense of purpose, time takes on a different quality. Hours fly by because you're so engrossed in your work. You have more energy, more creativity, more resilience in the face of challenges. So I challenge you to find your passion, to discover your purpose. What lights you up? What makes you lose track of time? What work would you do even if you weren't paid for it? Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Jim, I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what my purpose is, and that's okay. Finding your passion and purpose is a journey, not a destination. It's something that evolves over time as you gain new experiences and insights. The key is to stay curious, to keep exploring. Try new things, take on new challenges, pay attention to what energizes you and what drains you and what drains you. And most importantly, don't be afraid to pivot if you realize you're on the wrong path. Remember, it's never too late to change course. I've known people who discovered their true calling in their 50s, 60s, even 70s. The important thing is to keep growing, keep learning, keep pushing yourself to become the best version of yourself. Now let's talk about something that's absolutely crucial If you want to make the most of your time, the power of saying no. You see, one of the biggest reasons people waste time is because they say yes to too many things. They overcommit, spread themselves too thin, and end up doing a lot of things poorly instead of a few things well. Remember, every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So be selective about what you commit to. Ask yourself, does this align with my goals and values? Is this the best use of my time? Will this move me closer to where I want to be? Don't be afraid to say no to opportunities that don't serve your greater purpose. Don't be afraid to disappoint people in the short term if it means staying true to your long-term goals. And here's a crucial point: saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you focused. It allows you to give your best to the things that truly matter. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked, but is absolutely crucial for making the most of your time: the power of reflection. You see, it's not enough to just be busy. You need to regularly step back and assess whether you're busy doing the right things. Set aside time each week to reflect on your progress. Are you moving closer to your goals? Are your actions aligned with your values? What's working well? What needs to change? This regular reflection allows you to course correct if needed. It helps you stay on track and ensures that you're not just spinning your wheels, but actually making meaningful progress. And while we're on the topic of reflection, let's talk about the importance of gratitude. You see, in our quest for more success, more money, more achievements, we often forget to appreciate what we already have. But here's the thing: gratitude is not just a nice sentiment. It's a powerful force that can transform your life. When you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you shift your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. You become more positive, more resilient, more content. So make gratitude a daily practice. Each day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or a beautiful sunset. This practice of gratitude doesn't just make you feel good, it actually rewires your brain to notice more positive things in your life. And when you're in a positive state of mind, you're more creative, more productive, more likely to seize opportunities and overcome challenges. Now, as we start to wrap up this talk, I want to circle back to our main theme: you can never turn back the clock of life. Don't waste another year of your life. You see, life is not a dress rehearsal. This is the real deal. Every day that passes is a day you'll never get back. Every year that goes by is a year you can't relive. So I implore you, don't wait for the perfect time to start living the life you want. Don't put off your dreams and goals for someday, because someday is not a day of the week. Someday may never come. The time to act is now. The time to change is now. The time to start living with purpose and intention is now. Remember, you are the author of your life story. You have the power to write the next chapter, to change the narrative, to create a life you're proud of. Will it be easy? No. Will there be challenges and setbacks along the way? Absolutely. But I promise you, the effort will be worth it. Because there's no greater satisfaction than knowing you're living life on your own terms, that you're making the most of the precious time you've been given. So I challenge you, when you leave here today, don't let this be just another motivational talk that makes you feel good for a moment but doesn't lead to lasting change. Take action. Start small if you need to, but start. Make a plan. Set some goals. Develop some new habits. Take that first step towards the life you want. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Surround yourself with people who support your growth, who challenge you to be better, who believe in you even when you doubt yourself. In conclusion, I want to leave you with this thought at the end of your life: you won't regret the things you did nearly as much as the things you didn't do. You won't regret the risks you took, the challenges you faced, the dreams you pursued. You'll regret the chances you didn't take, the comfort zones you never left, the potential you never fully realized. So don't let another year slip by. Don't waste another moment. Embrace the gift of time you've been given. Use it wisely. Use it purposefully. Use it to create a life that fills you with joy, purpose, and pride. Because remember, the clock is ticking, and you can never turn it back, but you can always choose to make the most of the time you have left. Thank you.